Buckle up, listeners, because this week is going to be a wild one in the markets. Earnings are coming in hot and heavy. Bitcoin's got its own show going on, flirting with that $69,000 mark again. And did anyone see gold and silver suddenly stealing the spotlight? We're diving into all of that and more today using the research you sent over, so let's get right to it.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a week for the books, that's for sure. And you're right, gold and silver usually just kind of hang out in the background, not grabbing headlines like this. What's behind this sudden surge?
Right. It's not exactly what you think of when someone says quick profit, but here we are.
Well, fun fact, gold's actually been on a tear for a while now. Over the past decade, it's up over 146%, more than doubled your money. Not too shabby for something considered a safe haven asset. I think this tells us investors have been feeling uneasy for a lot longer than anyone wants to admit.
Wow, over 146%. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's not exactly front page news, but what's really fueling the fire now, on top of that existing upward trend, is this mix of global uncertainty and those ever-present inflation worries. Think about it. When the world feels shaky, investors instinctively run to stability. Gold and silver have that long history of holding their value, even when everything else is going haywire.
Like that old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough go for the gold. But let's be honest, isn't investing in gold usually, well, kind of volatile, unpredictable, not exactly a smooth ride, right?
You're not wrong. Traditionally, it has been. But here's where it gets interesting. The rise of options trading has really changed the game. Even those traditionally stable assets like gold and silver can now offer opportunities for short-term plays. Potentially much quicker gains, though, of course, higher risks too. Can't forget that part.
Okay, so we've got that to consider, plus the upcoming election, which always seems to throw a wrench into the works no matter what side you're on. And speaking of unpredictable, Bitcoin. It's back to its old tricks, teasing us with that $69,000 mark. And now, with options trading approved for Bitcoin ETFs, this could really get interesting.
Absolutely. This ETF approval could be huge. It basically opens the door for bigger investors, those institutional players, to get in on the action. And that often paves the way for more mainstream acceptance. But then add options trading to the mix. Well, that injects a whole new level of speculative trading.
So more players, more money, more
Volatility.
Oh, for sure.
This week could be a major turning point for Bitcoin, especially with the election adding another layer of uncertainty to how it might be regulated down the line.
Wow. Okay. So we've got gold and silver acting jumpy. Bitcoin's about to have its moment. And all of this is happening against the backdrop of what's already been a historically strong year for the stock market as a whole. I mean, crazy strong, right?
No argument there. We've seen a record 47 new highs for the market this year alone. That's unheard of. But I will say there's a sense of caution creeping in. Investors are getting a little nervous, watching for any little sign of a downturn. And this earnings season, well, let's just say it's not calming anyone's nerves.
Especially with giants like Tesla and Boeing about to report. What's the general feeling from investors right now? What are they most concerned about?
Well, inflation is still the elephant in the room. The Fed's next move on interest rates. No one has a clue. And then there's the election, which is basically a giant question mark hanging over everything. It's this combination of factors that has people a little on edge, to say the least.
Makes sense. It's like trying to make investment decisions while riding a roller coaster blindfolded. Speaking of roller coasters, that SPY chart is making me a little queasy. Looks like we're at a critical point, wouldn't you say?
We are. That key resistance level of 585. The SPY hit it on Friday, but just couldn't quite break through. Now, historically, that level has been significant. We see a decisive move above that, and it often signals a continued upward trend. But if it can't break through, well, that's when the bears might start eyeing their chance to take control.
Okay, so everyone's watching to see if the SPY can power through 585. And with earnings season in full swing, seems like anything could happen. Big moves coming, in one direction or the other.
Without a doubt. Volatility is the name of the game this week. Keep a close eye on those earnings reports, especially for those companies that either crush expectations or fall short. That's where you'll see the real market reactions, the raw emotion.
So much to unpack this week, but let's dive into some specific trade setups based on the research you sent over. And I gotta say, your first pick, well, it surprised me a little. You're bearish on VST in this market.
Yeah, I know, right? Seems kind of counterintuitive to bet against a stock that's been on a roll. But you got to look beyond just the price action. Look at the bigger picture. With VST, the charts are telling us a story. This is a stock that's gotten ahead of itself.
Ahead of itself, meaning?
Overextended.
Right.
It's like it's run too far, too fast, and now it needs a breather. We see this happen a lot, especially in a bull market.
Okay, so how can you tell when a stock is, like, fast. Are there warning signs or something?
You could say that. Weakening momentum is a big one. That means the rate of its climb is slowing down. And look for the stock hitting those resistance levels, those price points, where it struggled to break through before. VST is showing both of those things.
Interesting. So it's not just about the price going up, it's about how it's going up. Makes sense. Okay, so let's talk risk versus reward for VST. You're saying it could be headed down, but how far down are we talking?
Well, looking at its recent movements and those support levels on the chart, potential downside target for VST sits around 115. And of course, got to have a safety net with any trade. A stop loss at, say, 140 means you're risking about $8 a share for a potential gain of 17.
Okay, so a little more than double your money if this trade works out. Now, banks. They've been surprisingly resilient this year, even with all the uncertainty. But you're not so sure the good times will last, at least not for CityGroup.
Right. See, most banks have been riding high, but CityGroup, there are some cracks starting to show. After their earnings last week, they kind of hit a wall.
Hit a wall, meaning?
Hit resistance, upward momentum stalled out, and then they posted a lower high, which isn't a good look.
Lower high. Explain that one. Why is that a bad thing?
Sure, it means the stock makes a peak, right? But that peak is lower than the one before it. Suggests the buyers are losing steam, and the sellers, well, they're licking their chops. Not a good sign for a stock that's supposed to be in rally mode.
Got it. So CityGroup, you're seeing some weakness that other banks aren't showing, makes it a potential downside play.
Exactly. Keep an eye on that recent low of 62.50. If it breaks below that, could be the start of a more serious downward slide.
Okay, noted. So we've got VST, potential downside play, CityGroup, another one, both a little bit against the grain, you could say. Let's switch gears. Something a little more optimistic. Can't have a market deep dive without talking about silver, especially after that breakout above $30. What's the story there?
Right. SLV, that's the silver ETFs, has been teasing us for weeks, flirting with that $30 resistance level.
Yeah.
But finally broke through, and the momentum right now, it's looking pretty darn good.
The longer the base, the higher in space. Not sure if that applies to precious metals, but still. But silver's having a moment. We got to talk about silver options, though, because you mentioned they can be really volatile, even more so than gold options. What makes them so jumpy?
It's the nature of the beast, really. Gold, it tends to move a little slower, more gradual, but silver, it's known for those big dramatic price swings. Much more sensitive to changes in industrial demand and that inherent volatility. It bleeds into the options contracts, especially in the short term. Big potential rewards, but yeah, bigger potential losses too. Gotta be careful with silver.
All right, so silver, a little bit of a wild card, but hey, who doesn't like a little excitement in their portfolio, right? Speaking of excitement, we can't forget about Coinbase, the Bitcoin ETF, especially with Bitcoin making moves.
And the thesis on Coinbase is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Coinbase, it lives and breathes with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin rallies, Coinbase usually follows, and a lot of times with even more intensity.
So if Bitcoin blows past that $70,000 mark,
Coinbase could be in for a wild ride north. That $220 level, that's been a mental hurdle for Bitcoin. Clear that, hold it, and you usually see this surge of confidence. Investors jump in, and that pushes both Bitcoin and Coinbase higher. Got it. Bitcoin sneezes, Coinbase catches a cold. We'll be watching. Now, Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, you mentioned it's at a crossroads. What's going on there?
so Alibaba's been hanging around this $100 mark, which, looking back, has been a pretty solid support level. If it holds above that, we could see a nice bounce. But, and this is a big but, if it breaks below $100, and I mean convincingly breaks below, that could be a sign of more trouble ahead.
$100, the magic number for BABA. Got it. Now, you always have your finger on the pulse of those momentum plays, stocks that are, well, moving. What's caught your eye this week?
Well, MSTR is looking pretty interesting. And surprise, surprise, they have a connection to Bitcoin. Remember that $220 level we talked about? Yeah, that's a big one for MSTR too. If you can break above that and hold it, things could get interesting.
Interesting meaning potentially profitable.
That's a good way to put it.
Gotta love that optimism. What else is on your momentum radar?
OKLO is one to watch, had a monster day on Friday, closed up over 15% on huge volume.
I see. Someone was buying hand over fist. But there's always a but, isn't there? Always. As much as we love a good momentum play, OKLO needs to reclaim that $20 mark. And not just a quick touch, a decisive move above $20. That's what'll tell us this rally has legs. If it can't break through, this recent surge might just fizzle out.
$20 is the line in the sand for OKLO stock. Okay, now I see BABA is back for round two, this time on the momentum list. 2 potential trades in 1 week, that's gotta mean something.
It does. Like we talked about before, BABA's at a pivotal point. But this time, we're watching 2 levels. $100 on the downside, that's our support, and $103 on the upside, that's resistance. A break below $100 could get ugly, but a push above $103, that could be the start of a bullish reversal. High stakes, for sure.
Talk about edge of your seat action. Okay, let's wrap things up with what you called the $500,000 trade, this big bet on WSE. Aside from the obvious, what caught your eye?
So last Friday, someone with very deep pockets made a big move on WSE, bought up a ton of call options, strike price, $42.50. But here's the kicker. These options don't expire until January of 2025.
January 2025. That is a long time to wait for a trade to play out. What's the thinking there?
Well, WSE is currently trading around $37, so those call options are what we call out of the money right now. They're only going to make money if WSE climbs above $42.50, and they've got until January 2025 to do it.
Okay, so high risk, high reward. But why the long time frame?
With that much time, this trader isn't betting on a quick win. They're betting on a major comeback for WSE. We're talking a whole different ball game.
So if WSE takes off, those options are going to be worth a fortune. But if it stays below $42.50, oof, that's going to leave a mark.
You get that right. Now, if you're into chart watching, WSE has some strong support around the 35, 36, 7 cents. It's bounced back from there before. On the flip side, that $40 mark, that's a resistance. WSE breaks through that. It's a major bullish signal.
Support at $35, $36, resistance at $40, and a whole lot of time to see how this plays out. Man, this deep dive has been a wild ride. From earnings season jitters to Bitcoin's big week, and even gold and silver stealing the show, you've given us a lot to think about.
It's my pleasure.
As always, it's all about finding the opportunities in the chaos, right? Making smart moves, managing your risk, and remembering that in the market, anything's possible.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of possibilities, one final thought before we sign off. This year has been absolutely donkers for the stock market. But with so much uncertainty out there, the election, global tensions, inflation still lurking, do you think this bull market has more gas in the tank, or are we headed for a correction? Something tells me that's a question we'll be asking ourselves for a while. Until next time, happy trading, everyone.